And let's try to understand how HPE that I work at do that mission, okay? Then I'm going to speak about how I build my team to handle these issues. About myself, I'm a QA manager at HPE for more than 7 years, and I have experience in quality at all for 10 years. Who knows this company name? Raise his hand. Okay, this name is the new logo that we have. HP, that you know that you find on your laptops, was separated to two companies. One is the enterprise company that we see here, the icon, and the second company is the laptops that you see on the laptop or printers, for example. I used to be a QA engineer for 3 years testing LoadRunner product, and it's a product for performance testing. And today I'm managing a Storm Runner Load. This is the new product that do a performance testing. I'm the manager of the QA. I'm handling 2 teams, one in Shanghai in China and the second one in Tel Aviv. Some about myself. I like traveling around the world. I do ski every year. And I'm writing some articles. But before that, as you see, last year I was in Iceland. And also I'm doing ski all the time, searching for cold places. And today I'm in Novosibirsk, I think it's also cold. And it came because I'm living in Tel Aviv. There is like today 30 degrees and we are in the winter. Soon will be summer, it will be 35 degrees. It's daily. Okay, we are going to touch and talk about all these topics that we are going to see now. About SaaS. Who know what is SaaS? Nice. Agile. Very nice. And about modern QA, I mean, it's the same thing of QA, but what we need more to do to be more agile and to do it fast. About automation was and still exists, but we do it better, and I will show you how we handle this case. About environments, because SaaS, it's not what we know before, then we need to understand what this environment and how this environment affects our daily work. Continuous deployment, no need to wait for 1 month until the developers give us the build. We can test it daily. Also, we touch this topic. And hot fixes. Customers are very angry when they have a defect. They need the fix now, even not tomorrow. About SaaS. SaaS is a software as a service. To understand what it means, let's try to understand what the on-premise means before we understand SaaS. On-premise is a software that you need to install in your laptop or computer. Let's take as an example Microsoft Outlook. I guess that most of you at least work with this product. You need to install in your laptop. But if you go to your device, you can't work with Microsoft Outlook. You can't log into your email because you need to install something there similar. If you go to a Linux or a different computer around the world, you can't log into your Outlook. Therefore, the IT companies and customer move. This is the transition from old CDs that we know that you need to install and wait, for example, for Windows 10 to be on CD and wait to the next version. Then the world is transitioned to the next generation, that is software as a service. No need to install anything. Actually, someone installed this stuff, and who's do that is the companies. In my case, we are having a product that give it as a service instead of giving a CDs. And customers, all what they need to do is just to log into the system and start working with the product. If we have an example before about Microsoft Outlook, let's take an example about Gmail. Gmail, you can log in from any device, you don't need to install, and there is no need for memory or disk space on the computer. Then we see that we have a lot of more things that we have in the SaaS version. Gmail, for example, they in Google storage or farms, they install something there. They have all this stuff, the same we have, and the same any company that give a service, software as a service, they have also the same. We have the database, the service, firewall, file system, okay? and we install the product there each 1.5 months, then the users when log in again, they will see the new features that we deliver or the new hotfixes. Before 3 years ago, I have been asked to build the first team of DevTest. DevTest is a code name that I give for a modern QA team. You can call it whatever you want, but this is the name that we choose in the company. This team should know modern technologies and techniques, should be agile with methodologies. In addition, they should understand what is SaaS and how to test SaaS products, and to deliver fast. When I say fast, I mean 1 month or 1.5 months from today. Also, 3 years ago, there was a smart guy at HPE that decided that we need to have a new generation of of performance testing that based on the cloud. This is the first diagram that we have. This is the real company, by the way. We are 3 buildings in Tel Aviv. And this is the window that still, till today, have this diagram of the first product that we designed, because it started as a small startup inside the company. From this day, after 3 years, after that I built the QA team and the product already in production for 2 years. This is the product, StormRunner. StormRunner is a performance testing tool based on the cloud. Who know performance testing, by the way? Who used it, or who know LoadRunner tool? Okay, LoadRunner is a performance testing tool, and also StormRunner. All what you need to do a performance testing, you need to record a script or write a script, like in a JavaScript or any language that we have. It simulates the customer. For example, if one going to Amazon to buy a book, then you can record this flow, and all what you need is just to upload the flow to the StormRunner when you log into the product. And then you need to schedule how many virtual users you want to run. When I say virtual users, I mean you want to test if this book, like someone going to buy 1 million customers going to buy this book in 1 day, then Amazon should understand how to handle this amount of traffic. Then this is what we do. We simulate this stuff before it goes to production. Here's the example, the regions that we support, because the service we give is based on the cloud. You can see that we support all these regions around the world. Some of them is AWS, Amazon, and some of them Azure of Microsoft. Then if you have 1 million virtual users and most of your customers from Tokyo, then you should give more attention to Tokyo and more users to give that can attack your application from Tokyo. After running a performance test in real time and after the test is done, you can analyze your system. You can see that your database, for example, if we are speaking about Amazon, that when 1 million trying to buy a book, then the database will be like very heavy and stop behave like expected. Then this performance testing, I'm not going to drill more into performance testing because I want to show you how we test this tool, okay? This is the software as a service that I mentioned before. In my case, in StormRunner, we have another layer. It's cloud, because we saw that we also test, when we run a load test, the cloud will start using Amazon and Microsoft. Then my team have another challenge, not just test a new product that it's SaaS, also to test a cloud product. And all what I mentioned before about how we are going to test this product, it should be released each month, almost, or 1.5 months. On-premise, what we know before, that we need to deliver 1 or 2 versions in 1 year. That's a piece of cake for today, because it's very easy. You have half a year just to test one product. But in these days, it's different. The product management want to deliver in each 1.5 months. Let's say example for the product that I will show you, StormRunner. The first release that we have before 2 years, in December, the code name that we give, each version have a code name. It's Allocate. It's a 80s game, I think. Then we released the second one in February. We can see that it's 2 months between the versions. Who's going to guess? What's the code name of the next version? I'm inviting for beer. It's 80s games or 90s. Huh? No? Then you need to invite me, by the way. It's a commander key. I will give you another chance. Who will guess what the next release name? D, something with D. Okay, it's good. Okay, it's Digger. Another chance, and last chance, it's vodka this time. If not, all of you are going to invite me to something. Huh? A, B, C, D, E. D, F, sorry, should be. Ah, you're right. I need to invite you. Okay, then next we have Frogger. Just notice to the dates: March, April, June, August, November, Golden X. I'm sure that you played with this game at least. And then December, hang on. We can see that we have 6 major releases in 1 year, okay? And this is very heavy, and we need a special team to handle this testing. As you know, we continue testing new features. If you are tester here, I guess, test regression, automation, environments, continuous integration of delivery, hotfixes, data migration, performance testing, security, globalization, documentation. All this should be done in 1.5 months. Therefore, we built this team that we call it a dev test at HPE. This started from me 3 years ago that I mentioned before. What's special in this team? Let's try to understand. This team have QA and dev skills. They can understand code. As you see, we have a very close relationship. We use the same IDE. We have the same code base. And we have the same processes. I mean, if you visit a QA in my team, you will see that he almost a developer. We have the same web storm that we are using or IntelliJ. They are using JavaScript, writing JavaScript, and more. Automation is must. I know that it always was must, but this time you can deliver in 1.5 months without almost full automation, because you have a lot of features that are already in production. Who's going to test these features? And the team currently focus on the features that we are going to deliver. In addition, we have manual testing. I know that Agile asks us to do automation from day one, but we don't, because we noticed that if you start doing automation from day one, the developers keep changing the API, keep changing the API, then we just following this developer and we don't do anything, just rewriting the automation. Then we do automation from the next release when the feature is end-to-end done. No more deliveries to QA. If there is a new code, we just take it from there. I will show you an example in 2 slides from here. Our training, each one that came to my team or start working in my team, he should have this training. The training, by the way, is a very long list, but I just will give you an example to see that we are learn how to code JavaScript, HTML, CSS, XPath, Node.js, REST API, and more and more and more. And this, the dev test team, the new generation that need to understand and handle. By the way, it doesn't mean that manual testing, that's not needed. We also have 2 engineers that do only manual, and it's very important for us. I will give you an example for continuous testing. It's related to the deliver to QA, no more deliver to QA. This is Git. The product start from here to the next release. Then we make a branch, and we work on this branch 1.5 months. Then we go to production. Then this is the life cycle that we have. First of all, the developer pushing a new code or a defect or anything. Then the automation will start working. And if it's green, only green, the code will continue to deployment. After deployment, the QA can test it. All this process can be done in 10 minutes or 20 minutes because the automation is very fast, and we use many machines to run at the same time the automation to not wasting time for developers. And in the last days of the version, we do a small regression here to make sure that the users will be happy using the product, even to see the colors that automation can't see. Because we are the QA, we must make sure that everything is okay. Then we go to production. This thing that we see here, we do it many times a day because we have like 30 developers. Each one can push at the same day 4, 6, 7 times. Then we do a lot of builds. Let's take a summary for this 1.5 months. We had 1,164 commits. It means developer pushed code 1,000 plus, more even. It could be a hotfix or a defect or anything, or coding or even a commit. It doesn't matter. Even when my team push an automation test to the code, because we work on the same Git. The automation also, it's not separated from the Git. Then also when my team push automation, they must run the automation entirely to see if everything is okay. Full, it's running 3 times a day almost, and after that we do a deploy. This is all the automation that we have, this is part of the automation to make it faster. And in 1 month we have about 1,400 builds. That's very extreme. And to do that you need a special team that can handle this stuff. The modern QA, in my opinion, understand what is SaaS, software as a service, what is dev, because he have more skills to write code. Production, we know how to push to production anytime, whenever it needed. And about customers, we continue to meet customer to understand if we missed something in the testing. And we keep discussing with the customers if the flows that we test are okay, and show us how you are working with the product. Sometimes we find that some flows are not covered, then we learn from customers. DevOps, we need to understand what to ask from DevOps. Therefore, we need to understand what it means Jenkins, what means continuous integration, continuous testing, all this buzzword that we hear, we should understand very clear. Else you can't ask a DevOps engineer to do something for you if you don't know what to ask. This is the best part, I think. All of us like automation because it's make our life easy, and sometimes it's fun to write code. From the day that I realized that we need to release a version each 1.5 months, then I understand that I need a very trustful framework. Something that if one test is failing, to understand that it means that we have a defect. Not false alarm. You know, a lot of automation just run, and you have a lot of tests that failed. You say, okay, this test is not relevant because it's the environment. We don't have this stuff. We write the test to be very accurate. It means if one test failed, there is no build anymore. The branch or the Git will be blocked for developers. And something fast. You know, developers have no patience. They need to push code to have the product now, to see what's happening, to see if the defect was fixed or something. Here's an example from, this is my floor where we're working. Olga from my team is responsible for the Git. And there is a developer push some code that make test fail. Then automatically the dev branch that we work on, it was blocked. It means no one from the developers can push code. Then we don't need to run for the developers asking, please fix the defect because the automation is failing. We just keep sitting in the queue and you see all the developers running. Please, how to fix that? Where is the defect? Show me what test is failing. I want to fix the defect. And it's a different strategy for what we know. Once we see the test failing, then we said, okay, oh my God, the developers will not care about this, but not these days. And when it's open, then we can see it's green, or relax, go drink coffee, don't need to waste another time on following the defects. Here's another example from my team, Olga, when she saw that test failing and the dev branch was blocked, no one can push code. She sent that the automation find a real defect and we need to fix it. She give the developers a focus to understand how to be focused there. Then developers jump, hurry, fix the code and push. And then all this happen in one day, even sometimes less. The frameworks we are using, we work with Git. We save the test frameworks there at the same time. We use the Grunt based on Node.js that manage all the frameworks that we have. Grant can start and build the client automation. We support all the browsers that we have. We have an API testing framework based on Mocha. In addition, we have another framework for cloud testing because we have a lot of regions. And finally, we need the results to show what is failing there. It's very easy, simple, no need for a complex diagram. Here's a challenge that I want to show you about the regions that we test. We support 17 regions in the cloud. Each cloud region have 6 different image. When I say image, I mean machine with Windows or Ubuntu or something. If we want to test this manually, I need maybe 1 month for the entire team to do it. In addition, each one of the regions give us back 15 different metrics, because this is how the product works. Then we need to test also the metrics. It's need another 1 month for testing for the entire team. And imagine that we need to deliver in 1.5 months. Then we build a new framework that handle all this amount of testing. And it's do it in 2 hours for all the regions instead of 2 months. And this is the idea for the dev test team that can handle and create their own framework to handle such amount of tests. I want to show another tool that we wrote because we need it. Sometimes developers write a new API and they don't tell us that there's a new API. And we want to test all the APIs, then we build a tool that if you click on sync, he will scan the code of the developers, and by regular expression, he will try to find what the new API was added. If we find that the new API was added, we just here give the owner and give the status. Owner, it means who's going to write the automation for this one. And if he write automation, it's done or not. Here's an example for obsolete, that no need, this API is not used anymore by the product, and we give it obsolete. It's not relevant anymore. Another tool that we build is when you test on the cloud, you pay a lot of money. We have about each month like $4,000. Then we keep following the test that we write. And each time that you run a test for test the cloud, you can see how money it costs us. In this case, it's a local machine. It's only $2 because it was empty, but sometimes you can see here thousands of dollars. And what tenant was running this test, you can understand who did that test. Sometimes the machine is stuck, then you see that you have a lot of money wasted because a machine is stuck in the cloud. Here's an example for the coverage that we have. As I mentioned, we have 3 frameworks. This is the client one. The blue, you can see that we have about 200 tests. It covers 60%. You can see that the API is very strong because we cover all the APIs that we have. It's about 85. And we have, this is the cloud region that we have we cover all the regions in the framework that I will show you before. And as you can see, the world is not, we have still work to do here, but this is all the QA team. There's nothing like complete and done. We still need something to improve ourselves, and we keep improve ourselves when we found something that's not working. How we cover the product. If you have a product that you have automation and manual test, how do you know if you covered all this area? And if you covered all this area, it means that you can deliver this product. Then we have an HPE new product, by the way, still not released. You from the first people that they see this new generation of management of testing. Here you can see Storm, and then client and tools, license. It's the product name, what customer sees. For example, if we take RTS, it's part of the product. It's have automation. We have test automation and manual automation. As you can see, here is a manual and another automation. And the list should be more long. Then I came to here, I take a look. If I see that the automation is green, then I know that the automation covering this and it's okay. All what I need to do is to run this 3 manual tests. If all is green, then I can deliver this feature. This is the idea of coverage. Test environment, we test local because the developer push code to the Git, we pull. If not, the automatic deployment we have on QA lab, security lab, performance lab, integration lab. Because we also have a security team that tests the security, also performance team. Finally, we have the staging. Staging is last step before production. And it's like 2 days testing, sanity, to see if everything is okay, then we go to production. Continuous deployment, when anyone push code and the automation was succeeded and green, then we save a build in Nexus, a server. Then Jenkins will deploy all the product on these machines that I mentioned before. And it happened in half an hour for all the machines that we see here. This is one of the last slides that we have about hot fixes. One day, I wake up in the morning, I see that a customer is very angry at 7 o'clock. He have a defect, something is not working. We, with the dev, the QA, do a research and we find that this is a real defect and it should be fixed. The dev start fixing the bug at 10 o'clock. We jump to test it in 2 o'clock because they push, we do pull. Then we do a testing on staging because we are not allowed to go to production without staging. It's like mandatory. Then we click push. All this hotfix happen in 1 day. Imagine that we're working in the on-premise that I mentioned before, like Outlook. You need to do a new CD and send for everybody, or to give it in as an update. But not all of the customers have the update online available, sometimes disabled because they are working in bank or something. Then the hotfix here is like happen in 1 day. In some other places need like 1 month or to wait to the next version that could be after 6 months or 1 year. Finally, some articles that I wrote, you can find in the Tech Beacon. I have 3 articles that I wrote about my journey building this team and how to test and about the frameworks. And Tatiana find me from these articles. And the last thing, I want to give you a small tip. Agile, SaaS, deliver fast, anything that you want to do. It's not related only to technology. You need to change your mindset. You, the developers, the managers, you need to understand that there is a change. We should understand what it required. It doesn't mean if you have Jenkins and a good automation framework and that you are agile. It's more than that. You should understand that you should ask the dev to be patient more, to do a faster job also, to push faster and to let QA be also involved in this process. And that's it. Thank you.
Вопросы? Ребятка.
Okay. Can you show the slide with the statistics of with the number of tests per area? Yes,
this
yes,
one?
This one. I want to ask a question about how do you maintain the test base? So there are a number of numbers here. Yeah. So how do you grow them? What part of team do it? And what tools do you use?
Okay, then for tools, first of all, we are using for the client side Selenium, and we also use a QTP or UFT, this HPE product, because HPE is also a QA tools for testing. For the API, we use a JavaScript pure. It's like you need to know JavaScript full, like as a developer. For the maintenance, we waste the time on maintenance, but this is what we should do. Like 10% of our time in each release is go to maintain this automation. And we know that it's good for us to give this 10 percentage because it will give us back a good and a faster deliveries.
So do the developers do this? So the coverage of orange one. So is it done by developers themselves or the dev test team?
Yeah, all the slides that we saw, the task that we see here, all done by QA, even the automation here. Once a developer told me that you are the QA, you don't know to write JavaScript. I asked him why, because there's a callback. Who's now JavaScript, there's a callbacks, and this is some difficult stuff to write in JavaScript. Then I said, no, we know today to do that. then we should change.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your speech. My question is about Git.
Yeah.
Until there is dev locked state, you have told that no pushes is available. Yes? Why is it so? You have only one branch, you work with trunk, or how much branches you have? And the second part of my question, have you any pre-commit unit tests for the main code and for the auto tests code?
Yeah, first of all, it's a very good question. This is a very good question, and I have a hidden slide about that. I just didn't, because we have 30 minutes. We do go for release. From this release, we have many branch. We call it private branch. It means that the developer wants to do his own work, his own feature. He just go to his own branch and do what he wants. And the QA can work with him in this branch. But when it's about release, the higher level, we don't allow to push anything that damages the automation. But in the release, inside the release, if you have a branch, you can damage some tests, it's okay. But don't push it to the release without our automation, and then we will block you.
What about unit tests, pre-commit unit tests? Before commit unit tests, what about pre-commit unit tests, some of the main code and for the
It's the
auto
same,
test?
the same. I mentioned before the tip that I gave, it's about mindset. If developers don't want to take care about this unit test, then they can do it. But they should change also, to do something different, to handle also if one unit test failing, they must go and fix it. And we also can block for that. Olga that you saw, she have the admin rights for the Jenkins, and she just block and go home. We don't care. Sorry if there's a developers here.
Question.
Hi.
Thank you for topic. I'd like to ask you about modern QA team. How
Yeah.
do you choose new team members? What kind of skills should they have to
Yeah.
work to in your team?
A very good question, because this is very important. We have a job description about what should be. First of all, we have 2 engineers that do only manual, end to end. And I can't work without these people. It means not all of the team do only automation and know how to write JavaScript. But if I want a new recruitment, then I go find someone that he have the abilities to write code. I'm not searching for one who's came with experience writing code, but we can, as you saw, we have training, a very good one. And we already trained more than 20 people for this training, and we saw that it works. It means if one have the potential, then he just need a training. And I trust that most of these people will go another step and learn more even.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ребят, еще один вопрос, если у кого есть.
Hi, thank you. So your speech called deliver on time,
Yes.
but as far as I see, your release built not on time or deadline or by amount of features you want to be in next release. Is it so?
Yeah, I didn't mention that. About content, you mean. We decide when we deliver this release. We have a deadline, we have
So,
a timeline.
You have some feature freeze.
Exactly, but it's like 2 days. We have the same that we have on-premise, like code freeze, feature freeze. But instead to be 1 month or 2, we do it in 2 days. Because we have the automation, and when you get to the feature freeze, and you already tested all the features, the new features, the automation do the part that is not covered by you, the regression, all the other areas. Then you're almost ready to deliver. Then the feature freeze like 2 days. We give 1 week stabilization before release. It's code freeze, feature freeze, whatever you call it. But this week, it's just to let QA be sure that the product's delivered good, on time also.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Вообще у нас есть еще пару минут, так что еще один вопрос.
I will talk for your photo if you allow me.
Thank you for your topic, and I have a question about testing environment. Do you use Docker while testing your application?
Another very good question. But it's from the future, your question. Because Docker is something that we are analyzing these days. You know, before using Docker, you should have a different pipeline of integration and delivery. And the dev should change a little bit in the architecture to allow all of us to work with Docker. But the idea of Docker, I believe in this idea, especially for the QA, because you test something that already blocked in image or Docker, whatever we call it. What you tested, if it works, the same you put in production with different configuration.
But you can deliver with Docker
Yeah, exactly.
in the same Docker container.
The same. This is the reason that we deliver something that we sure 100% that it will work for customers. I hope that next year we will have this Docker architecture in our team.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.